Hello, welcome to my presentation on a King's Mirror, the Emerging Black Men Mentoring Program. So, the Emerging Black Men Mentoring Program is a part of United Way's pre-K partnership pipeline recruitment strategy. And the goal of that is to bring Black men into early childhood education. As we know, only 2% of educators are Black men. So, this program provides mentors to Black males who are part of the pipeline recruitment strategy, and they're also in their first or second year of teaching in early childhood education. EBM's mission is to provide support and community as these Black men navigate the complexities of society's view on masculinity in caregiving and experience the isolation of being one of the few of Black men in the early childhood educational world. In creating this space, the hope is that they would be helped to embody their identities, to encourage their confidence, and to embrace their influence. These Black men mentees will have access to male mentors with similar experiences in education as they do. The EBM mentee attain mentorship and community through a cohort experience that creates training and specific support for their young Black learners as well, around masculinity, trauma, their identity, and mentorship. So upon exit from this program, EBM mentees will be equipped and confident to continue their work as early childhood educators and hopefully become mentors for future EBM members. So here are our program objectives. And before I jump in, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about the objectives. The Emerging Black Men Mentoring Program strives to basically respond to the research, the tons of research and data around highlighting the disparities of Black men as educators, specifically in early childhood education, and the lack of support that's present for them. So by creating an avenue where first year and second year Black male educators through the pre-K partnership pipeline model have the ability to be a part of this program, be brought in, get support, and then also receive a mentorship through connection with another Black male educator who is seasoned. He could be a teacher, he could be an administrator, he could be a superintendent, he could be someone who works at the district level, but just a Black male. He could even be an educator who's at a collegiate level at this point in time, but has had a similar Black male experience as an educator, is really integral to this process and to the development of having mentors. And so the whole goal of that is to create a community so that these Black men feel like they can be more sustained in this process and more willing to continue along the track of being an early childhood educator through the avenue of mentorship and having someone to go on this journey with them rather than them doing this by themselves. And we're going to do that through our 3 objectives. And they're going to be asked to do several activities and work together with their mentor to achieve, or their mentee to achieve success within this program. And there are 3 pillars that we're going to do this through. And those 3 pillars are embody your identity. And so as the mentee, your goal is to embody your identity as a Black man. As the mentor is to help them embody their identity as a Black man. And so mentors will work with the mentees to explore their own self-perceptions of masculinity, along with the world's lens of what masculinity is, especially in early childhood. We have this concept of what a nurturer is. And they'll also begin to understand how trauma can inform their experiences as a Black male in a white world and in a educational system that was not built for Black students, period. And so, and how that trauma influences them and how they interact with their students, and then also their coworkers and their administration as well. We want to make sure that they're exploring what may influence them, and they're going to be asked to read a book together. So like the mentors, I'll talk a little bit more about what the mentors are going to do with this book, but they're going to be asked to read a book together called Cry Like a Man by Jason Wilson. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. The second pillar is encourage your confidence. And so as the mentor, their goal is to encourage the mentee's confidence by utilizing their own lived experience. So the mentor's lived experience toward professionalism in this career and success that they've had as an individual. They're going to do this by creating an individual life plan and by sharing guidelines in which how to navigate this educational world as a Black male through the foundation of community. And that's where that cohort model comes in. They'll get access to other mentees and other mentors in this cohort model. And then the last pillar is embrace your influence. And so often we don't think about the influence that we as individuals have. And so in this element of it, the mentors are really going to help the mentees really think about a creative vision plan for passing the baton on to their Black students and brainstorm ways to recruit and retain other Black men in the educational field. So here I'd like to talk about the significance of the mentoring program to United Way for Greater Austin. So United Way for Greater Austin has had this pre-K partnership program for a while now. I think about year 4 or 5. It's year 4, I believe. And basically with this program, we're constantly recruiting individuals to work in early learning centers as a co-enrollment, where students have the ability to be co-enrolled both in the early childhood center that they've been going to since birth and within Austin Independent School District. And so our job is to recruit and train educators and to help them become certified so that they can be as equipped as those who are actually working in an AISD building. And so we help them get their certification. We have grants to help make sure that the center is able to pay them an equitable price, or equitable pay. And so with that in mind, we are going to add this pipeline recruitment strategy on to the recruitment that we're already doing. And as a part of that, the incentive for Black males specifically is that they would get a mentor as they join on or become a teacher through our pre-K partnership. So this is really important to our organization. It's another pillar of our desire to make sure that we are allowing the students that we serve to see individuals like them. And it's a part of the work that we've been doing for years. So as far as the program design, the day-to-day will be kind of fluid according to the partnerships of the mentors and the mentees. We do have some requirements of them, and the mentors will get some training and get access to signing an agreement that says that they will fulfill the elements of participation, and so will the mentees. So as they sign on to become a teacher within our pre-K partnership, they will also sign on to saying, yes, I participate in this program. And so there'll be 5 one-on-one in-person meetings after the launch that everybody will be coming to. There will be trainings for the mentors on an ongoing basis. There will be a quarterly training session for them, and it will run throughout the school year. So it will be a 12-year program for the mentors and a 9-month program for the mentees. And so training will begin in the summertime for the mentors, and we'll talk a little bit more about training, but the design will be that they'll have 5 one-on-one in-person meetings. They'll review the book Cry Like a Man, and have a book discussion. They will get to volunteer together, and we have lots of volunteer opportunities, and so we'll ask them to participate in one of those volunteer opportunities at United Way for Greater Austin. They will create their creation of their recruitment vision plan, and they will also create their individual life plan. And both of those elements will be based in the work that they're doing, or the elements that they've learned through either the internal work on their identities or the trauma-informed care work. There will be several elements of professional development and support for the program participants. For the mentors, they are going to attend a class on being trauma-informed virtually. And so we will enroll them as an organization in a trauma-informed care class, where they get to just learn the elements of what trauma is, why it's important to any person, and then they will get that through the lens of being a Black male. And that support will come from Cardia Advisory Group through a modified content that they already have specifically for our program. Additionally, they will participate in the book study for Cry Like a Man during the summertime. And that way they will be able to better lead the discussions with their one-on-one mentees during the program year. They will also be their own cohort and attend our onboarding training together, where they will get all of the elements that we discussed earlier. They'll get to ask any questions. They will get to create any ideas that they have for gathering and kind of plan out their 5 touch points with their mentees as well. And they'll also receive information about who their mentee will be, and get to look at their mentee profiles and create a mentor profile. The mentees and mentors will be matched through an online portal where they will upload their profiles and then be matched according to what fits best in their interests. And so in order to do that, that will be a part of the mentors training. They'll also get roadmap planning training and training on how to build out a vision plan. I know there's lots of different elements of what vision planning looks like, and so we will give them the guidance for that in the pre-training. And most of the training will take place before they're matched to their mentee. And one of the things that will help with this process is that these mentors will be given to us and come highly recommended from the district, and they'll be incentivized through their district and the partnership that we have with them. For the support for the participants, likewise, everything that the mentors are being trained on, they will learn how to turnkey those things to their mentee. And so the mentees will directly benefit from the training that the mentors have. We all know that program evaluation is important, and in order to help us, we are utilizing a baseline, and we're taking a baseline to figure out how this works. And actually, as a part of this baseline assessment, there'll be a pre-test and a post-test. And a part of the baseline for creating this pipeline program is coming through the research that I'm doing on my problem of practice. I have the privilege of interviewing 5 Black men who are currently early childhood educators and asking them directly what they desire if they were to be a part of a pipeline program, what mentorship looks like for them. And so because of that, I'm able to take a baseline, or we as an organization are able to take a baseline to put a mirror up to what our evaluation process will be. Once we gather all of the information from those Black men who are actually currently in early childhood education, we will utilize those as our guiding post to create the evaluation touch points and the evaluation benchmarks. We will also make sure that we are looking back at our program objectives and that we are assessing whether the participants were actually able to create their evaluation plans. Or I'm sorry, not their evaluation plans. We're actually able to make their individualized plans, their vision plans, whether they got through the book discussion and what was learned from that discussion. There will be a post-assessment on the book according to the discussion guide that we give them. And then also what they're contributing to the strategies around recruitment and retention. And we will utilize all of this information to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our participants and Black men like them. And so there will be a few assessments that we give them, and then there will also be a couple of surveys that are given throughout the process to make sure that participants are enjoying our program and are getting their needs met. And the one other thing that I wanted to say is there will also be an assessment during the mentor training program so that we can just evaluate where they are and where they still need support throughout the process. As the case manager, I will be available to support the mentors as they walk with the mentees. So we have quite a few stakeholders. I've talked about many of them, except for one. One is going to be new that I'm introducing to you, but we have United Way for Greater Austin, who is the backbone organization of this work. We have Austin Independent School District, who is our partner within the Success by Six pre-K partnership program. It is vital that they are invested and that they understand the program so that as we find Black men, or if they have Black men that they would like to send to our program, that we're working together and collaborating in that way. We have the funders. So this program and this pipeline recruitment program is going to be grant funded. And we have lots of funders already. We have the Dell Foundation is one of our funders for pre-K partnerships. And so we are just working to ensure that we can get an extended grant to put on this pipeline recruitment so that we can incentivize both the participants and the mentors and buy all of the supplies and make sure that we have another staff member on board to help me with managing the facilitation and training of the mentors. We will also have the equity, our coalition equity team, which works to evaluate all of the Success by Six programming. They are the team that kind of holds the mirror up to make sure that there is a lens of equity in everything that we do. And so they are another stakeholder, and they will help us create the evaluations and do an evaluation at the end of our programming, so that those who are working closely with the mentors aren't using their a lens of bias, but instead we have those who can actually help us evaluate whether this program is actually working or not. And then, of course, there's the Black men mentees and the Black men mentors. They are vital to making sure that this program runs and is successful. Without them, we do not have a program. And so it is important to set up our processes where we can hear them. We're creating a community of care, and we're creating a community where we're co-building with them, which is why we have them creating their own design at the front end and their own recruitment strategy. And really, Those are our stakeholders and why they're all vital and important to this work.